Fury, what's up,
It
man? How you doing?
it still didn't have as good run as Bitcoin.
That's right. Oh, hey, no worries at all. Just kind of curious, what was the turnout like in terms of projects that had submitted? Nice. So there were six in total.
I'm eating at the moment, so it's hard to to jump in. No, I haven't. I was waiting for the meeting to do it together. I thought that was the plan.
What were each of the projects?
Drip wage, the payrolling stuff. Drip wage.
Right. Yeah, and I know there Nuss had his roll game. I had the Plinko game, and then I even think that Scotty submitted his just his repo as like a separate one for Voiplinko as well. Um, and for mine, I did end up like I used one of Scotty's contracts and then I modified it. So it is kind of like a separate deal altogether. Um, I wasn't able to get the go ahead. The Oh, okay, yeah. Then it's both of us in one. And yeah, so I used his contract and then I just modified it slightly, and I think he made some additional modifications as well on his end, but like it's all open source and anybody can use it. Um, and same with um, my platform too. You can just go; it's all public on GitHub. The Yeah, that's fine because his is just the contract that he had posted on it. And I let him know that like I had submitted the participation form as the two of us. So I think that's probably what he'll expect anyways. So Yeah, yeah, I didn't know if he had submitted, separately, but, yeah, at any rate, we kind of worked together on it, but kinda separately, like async, I guess, if you will. Um, I was able to get there's 3 wallets that are connected right now, so the Kinesis, Loot, and Biotic are all connected. The, Voi the Voi wallet, I still need to mess around with the Wallet Connect, feature as well, so I'll put in some additional work, but just know that that's, if you wanna get the kind of the best experience, I would use either Kinesis or Loot, and I pretty much tested most of it using Loot anyways. So um, yeah, at any rate, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It's just the whole point of it is really to you know um, increase some transactions and get people to start kind of playing around and using the game. Um, and, I haven't talked with Shelly about it, but I'll probably have him add it to the Vibe Arcade as well at some point. Um, but yeah, that game is live, and I think that there are some limits on how much voy you can put in it, just because I only put in like 100,000 voy as the house. So I think you can like wager up to like 50,000 um, just to in order to be able to pay out up until the point like the house grows. So it actually scales up um, as the um, as the house um, wallet scales as well. So and then if there's what's that? Mhm. Yeah, no, I was planning on continuing to keep it live, and then potentially making some additional improvements to it, um, and yeah, just kind of continuing to hitting the max amount. Let me see. Yeah, uh, I have to make some adjustments to it, but yeah, let me figure out. Yeah, it is live. So I think you are winning and losing, but yeah, there might need to be some adjustments on the odds for it and some verification off chain as well. But yeah, the house wallet is actually currently up technically, so it's up not a whole lot, um, about 700 voy at the moment. So with the other players that are playing, they might not necessarily be winning as much as you are. Let me see. Oh, Nuss's phone's broken. Okay, that's a bummer. If he wants to come up, I know he's got his dice game is. I haven't had a chance to play that one yet, but I want to get in there and mess around with it and see how it works. I know that Scotty did use AVM Studio to build out the initial Void Plinko uh, game as well. So the contract itself. So it's basically Scotty worked on the contracting side. Hmm. Yeah, and I think yeah, totally, and I think he may have mentioned it in the void chat, but there isn't a reference in my, he did say something about, like, yeah, if anybody wants to launch a Plinko game, this is a good foundation, open source for anyone to use, and then I don't know if he said anything about AVM Studio, but he did use AVM Studio for it, so okay, cool. Yeah, I can make some adjustments as well and add that information into the README, at least. So, and then obviously the outstanding bigger issue for mine is just not having the Void wallet connect up on it yet. So that's something I need to make some adjustments. But I was focused yesterday on doing some Dorkfy um, updates and working on Dorkfy really more specifically yesterday and Mondays. Hmm. You're saying framework motion? And I think, my idea is to, yeah, take some of these recommendations, take some feedback, improve it a little bit, and then and maybe add some additional uh, void to the house, and then just kind of totally let it loose and let people do whatever they want with it, play around with it, and have fun. I think that's really kind of the whole point of it. It's not for me. It's not necessarily, um, you know, the point was to another game for the ecosystem, not necessarily to just like make money or make voy off of this particular project. It was to see what I could, do with a little bit of help from Scotty AVM Studio, and see if I could get something out there that works and is exciting and fun. And I know that these Plinko games are pretty popular in some circles, but yeah. So I appreciate the feedback. Very helpful. Um, I took one quick glance at it. Did you end up finding let's see, did you end up finding a domain for it? Yeah, we could probably do that for sure. I think this makes a lot of sense in another. Okay, sure. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, I don't see why not. We we can definitely try to get leverage the Voy.network domain and get that up there. The other kind of fun idea that I had floating around, that I think would be in some ways maybe like a little bit of an extension of a hackathon, but more of like a kind of a contest, would be to, I know everybody's, you know, interested in um, creating a new landing page for Void.network. And I thought that it would be kind of an interesting idea to run a contest on, getting community members and people to, you know, essentially vibe or create a new, fresh new landing page, and then have some judges take a look and make a decision, and of course have the flexibility of being able to make changes to what the content is. But I think it'd be kind of a fun way to maybe use that hackathon site again, repurpose it. um, and I don't know, it would have to go through proposal and get people to be excited about it, but I think it'd be a fun way to engage community members. Oh, go ahead. Totally. Johnny, did you have thoughts?
Most of the blood glucose is still going to digesting the broccolis. Uh, yeah, I think I like the hackathon idea, but I think it should have been a little bit better prepared in the sense of having some marketing for it and attracting more developers from outside the ecosystem, because a lot of the instances that was participating now came from people who really a chance to bring new people. But I think it's really interesting. Some of the things we saw, definitely, yeah, are a contribution.
Totally. And I think we could, depending on what comes out of this one, and, what kind of budget that the council and the new council wants to push forward. But I feel like there's room for, an extension of the hackathon, or just another, iteration of it, maybe on like a quarterly basis. There's some type of, you know,
Yeah.
hackathon, and it's a little bit more pointed in some ways. Like what we put out there was really wide open. But if we decided that there were some more specific needs, or categories or topics or things that we wanted to see done, it could be a little more beneficial, and to kind of have more structure to exactly what we want to see.
I think you should plan it out much better in advance. So set a starting date for the entities and have some clear dates for the meetings. Who is going to be in the jury? How it's going to be adjudicated? It's a bit it's a bit prototype feeling right now. But I like the concept a lot. But marketing, I think it should have been, if you like planned it out in advance for like 2 months, that it would be 15th of May. You could have started making announcements and marketing for it like from the beginning of the year, and hype it up a little bit more. Because it's a really good way to attract people to the network, and to also increase activity.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think, this is a good time to start planning the next one, right? Yeah, exactly. We kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. And I think mm, yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think it's just like, more structure around it, and, more consistency in terms of like maybe predefining who's going to be the judges and, um, you know, predefined dates and whatnot. So I think it would make sense to try to do another one, sometime in midsummer, like August, like 3 months from now. Um, and mhm.
I'm thinking of another thing. Perhaps it's an idea for the next edition to have the scoring. So you have the judges who make a scoring of each project, but you could also have like a community aspect of it. So
Mm,
like 60% of the points is judges and 40% is the community that can vote. And you could also
mhm.
make that on chain. So people log in with their Void wallet and then cast a vote uh, for the project
Yeah,
they like.
that's a really good idea. Who's gonna build it though?
We could make a hackathon for building the tools for the hackathon.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I kind of like that idea. That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. Mhm. And I think part of it is like the intake, right? Of needing to know exactly what GitHub projects you're looking to track. And at the time, I know that I wasn't ready to share my my repo, and I think I even like use this completely different repo. So um, that's where some of the challenges are. But maybe you have like a way to kind of look back and track what has been done once the during the time of the hackathon. Um, once it's been submitted, kind of like a retroactive view. Mm, hmm. Got it. Yeah, I feel like this first dry run is you know kind of sets the stage for how uh how strict we want to be and how loose we want to be with it in the future. Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially because there's not like, not more than six participants at the moment, or like during this last one. So if there were, like 100 or something, you could, or even like 25 or 30, you could be a little bit more strict with it. But with, limited participation on this first run, and to be honest with you, with the amount of, or I should say the lack of, you know, time that we had leading up to this, um, to promote. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of time, but we didn't know exactly what the date was. Uh, we got a pretty decent yeah, yeah, totally agree. So tentative date for the next one. Let's pick a date, right? And then yeah, that's true. That is true. Um, and yeah, I don't know if you want to submit another proposal for kind of the next one. I would support it. Um, but I'm thinking sometime in August. Right. Sweet. That sounds great. And do you have plans on like, uh, is it when are you guys going to make decisions on the final winners and all that fun stuff? Nice. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. And I think it'd be great to have some type of post about each of the projects and then, which one won and all that fun stuff too. Because I think that there's still, and this is also, for the future, if there was like, especially if we started to do some more community weighted votes for people to like be like, okay, these are all the projects. Now it's time for the community to go review. Once the community's reviewed, maybe there's like a community winner, and then there's the rest of the judge winners, and I don't know how it'd be weighted, but um, you have like an opportunity for people to go and check out all the participants. Sweet. Yep, that sounds good. And I think the other thing that we can do to get the site kind of connected to the domain. One thing that I might recommend is using the Void brand guidelines, to wrap around the site itself so that it's in line with all the rest of the aspects of the Void.network site. Yeah, sweet, awesome. Anything else we want to talk about? I'm excited to see, what kind of comes out of all of this. Okay, great. Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, it's up on my YouTube channel. I have this tendency
work.
to record everything.
Yeah, great work, guys. It's super helpful, especially for anybody who wants to go back and take a look and see how things went in the first run, and um, you know, yeah, it's good stuff. Hopefully, you guys weren't bribed, right?
I know nothing.
um,
I'm innocent.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see, who ends up winning and kind of how the evaluations go. I'll take a look at the excuse me, at the recordings and kind of go through them myself. But yeah, looking forward to seeing some posts about it, and then kind of planning for the next one. I do think that, you know, it makes sense to have, more hackathon tooling and tools, and I know that Fury, you've done a really great job of building some of that stuff out already. So, whatever we can integrate, any of the ideas that Johnny has or other people might have as well, it would probably strengthen the next run at the hackathon. So super excited to kind of see it come together, and see some results out of it, and see that there were, a decent amount of more participants than I actually expected. Uh, to be honest with you guys, without how short of a runway we had in terms of like, oh, we're picking a date. All right, we're gonna do it on this weekend. Let's get it out there. So it's, progress, and we'll build on top of the foundation, and make it better next time. Always learning, always progressing. Um, do we have any, just kind of moving on to another open discussion topic was, um, do we have any idea about the council election, when that is targeted to happen, and then if there have been council updates? And I know Nuss is probably the one that's most in the know about all that stuff, and his phone is broken. So, do you know, Nuss? Do you know how many applicants there have been so far? If you don't mind typing it in, if you can. If not, no big deal. Nothing. All right. I'll just follow up with him, after the fact, and we can get firm on the date and the times, and then, try to get a space or a Discord voice chat going to gather some of those applicants together, to kind of campaign for themselves. I know at least two people have applied. I'm sure that there's more, but Hattie's Hat was one, and then the other one that I know of was Taco, as well. So um, it'll be interesting to kind of hear different people campaign, and what they how they see things going, and how they want to kind of move things forward. Another thing that was on the agenda was just to talk a little bit more about the block rewards, and if we think it's a good idea to increase block rewards, or does anybody have any thoughts on any of that? Hmm.
I have a little point. To what degree do we now have incentivization to provide liquidity? I'm thinking especially on the Algorand side. So if you see the Evoy token on the Algorand side from the Aramid bridge, it doesn't have a lot of voyants in it. So the thing is, small purchases push the price up because there's hardly any supply as far as I can tell in the token. I don't know if there's an option to do tiny man farms. I don't know if there's that online or if you can provide something yourself to do that.
Well, I know that could definitely do some type of tiny man farm as well. You just have to, provide the liquidity for it. And I don't know a whole lot about it myself, but I know that we're doing something through Dorkfi with Unit over there right now. Um, but I'm not actually the one who's really administering it. It's Haruf on that side of things. Um, so I think part of it would be, just identifying how much liquidity we would want to add to that market, and then, authorizing the movement, the bridge of the Void to go over to Tiny Man through Airmid, and then, if identifying an incentive amount. But I don't see why not. I think it's a pretty good idea to try to kind of get more people involved in farming.
Yeah, to be interesting to the people currently into Valorant, you should have a little a higher pairing from the Avoid token to Valorant. If Valorant moons right now, nobody will ever buy a Void because it'll drop the price down compared to Valorant so drastically. And the majority of liquidity now is past $2. Which is good in the sense that you're price-wise independent of Valorant, but I from my viewpoint, I'm seeing Valorant picking up. If it ever happens, I mean, it's Valorant. But if it would go higher, Void will stay stuck behind. And I think also many people don't want to buy into Void right now because the price impact is so great due to low liquidity. So that might solve it. Doesn't have to be tiny, man. It can be another solution or something we put into place ourselves to what it. I'm open to it. The thing we really shouldn't have. You should be able to make a really substantial buy without dragging the price up or down a huge amount.
Totally. And I think, part of it is, do we have, enough Algorand? Do we have any Algorands to pair with, right? I think that's maybe one of the problems.
Yeah, that would be the benefit for them having farms available to try and push a couple of pairs in the bridge higher on the Algorand side without us particularly putting it in, just having the community or the others degens, Algorand degens put in some Evo Algo liquidity.
That's a good point.
And I had another thing I wanted to talk about, but I completely forgot it. So my bad.
It's okay. It's all good. I think it makes sense to me to try to juice the market over there and get some more people to participate in farming. And there's quite a bit of void tokens that need to be distributed anyway. And these types of incentive programs, DeFi incentive programs, are things that have been passed by former councils, and I think it would definitely help. It couldn't hurt necessarily. I mean, other than people farming and then just selling, dumping it, but at least there's an attempt to create a sticky engagement with it. And the short-term benefits seem to be pretty solid.
I think another thing that might help is I'm thinking of more in terms of a podcast style interview with Block Authority and a couple of core team members and the council to have really a clear explanation of how many Void is currently in the treasuries, how will we put them forward, and yeah, people are scared of Voi. That's the impression I'm getting. Because if you compare what's currently in the decentralized exchanges, if you compare that with the amount of void that's in staking, running the network, and compare it to the treasury that's remaining, people don't want to buy from liquidity pool that's 10, 20, 30 million void when there's hundreds of millions of void that could be dumped on them. So clear outlines there would definitely help, I think, to convince a few people that we're not evil after all.
Totally. And that it is like, it is truly more community than anything else. I think that that's like one of the things that, people get lost in the sauce when they talk about Voy and think about Voy and, its relation to the block authority. I'm taking notes. I should have an agent do it for me, but it's okay.
Make it an idea for the hackathon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, these are good thoughts, good ideas, Johnny. As always, I appreciate your feedback because I think that these are some good points that have been overlooked and haven't been discussed enough. And I think that we can definitely move towards creating some type of proposal for DeFi incentives on Tiny Manor Pact or somewhere over there on the algo side to try to get more engagement and more depth and liquidity on the pairing, and just distributing the tokens to degens and broader community. So
If you
I feel
wanna,
like that's like pretty simple, easy pass. That would be a good proposal to put out there.
if you wanna play on the hearts of the Algorand OGs, everyone misses the initial hold Algorand and get airdropped, dripped Algorand just for holding on your address. Like at the start of Valorant, when I joined, it was like hold Valorant and you get 4% API just for having it in your wallet. I think you could win over a lot of hearts out of pure nostalgia with that concept. So I don't know if that's if we are able to do that protocol-wise or have it in a smart contract, but that's also it doesn't have to be much, even if it's only 2 to 3%. I think it'll perhaps stimulate people to get some void and just hold it.
Totally. Yeah, I think that makes sense, and it could be like there could be a start and an end date to the program. Pretty open. I feel like with the Algorand one, it was like come use the Algorand wallet, and there was that program, and then it just like all of a sudden just went away, without too much warning.
We are the chain of the ducks at that point, so even the Algorand Foundation joined in. let's rug pull the rewards from under you.
Yeah, I know. We need to get these rewards back, right? Yikes. Well, we're a little bit over time here. You guys have anything else, or right at time, I should say? Anything else we want to kind of chat about? I think some of the things that I kind of picked up from this, just to kind of review it, was hackathon. We'll know a little bit more sometime over the weekend. By the end of the week, there'll be some posts about it, and then kind of targeting some ways to integrate the hackathon platform, with the Void.network domain, and then targeting some timeframes and kind of structure for the next hackathon. How we improve it? And then talking about potentially having a proposal out there for pairing Voy with Algo on a Tiny Man or Pact farm. Encouraging some podcast format with block authority folks and some of the key council members and other people that are in the ecosystem to talk a little bit more about distribution schedule and thoughts and ideas on how they see things kind of evolving and rolling out over time. Did I miss anything? I think so.
I just checked on Tiny Man and there is one Avoy pool and it's Hawk. You have Liqui, you can pool Liqui Hawk and Avoy and get a 13% TPR.
Wow. Nice. 13%, all right. That's pretty solid. It's got to be on Pact, because I know Hog is, primarily works on Pact stuff.
It's Tiny Man. It's on Tiny Man. I haven't looked at Pact. Can I check? Yeah, I'm not gonna wait for it.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining again this week, and we'll kind of push some of these these action items forward, and see where it goes. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you.
Awesome.